Welcome back. This is part 2 of lesson 5, our cash flow lesson in the money management unit. So in this lesson, we're talking about how to control our cash flow, how to make sure that we are spending money and earning money in a relative balance to each other. In the last lesson, we talked about how to stay on course, checking to make sure that when you are anticipating your income, that is actually the amount of income that you're making. Or when you're creating a budget, making sure that is actually how much you're spending on items. And if you aren't making enough money or you're spending too much money, we had some ideas of how you could get a bigger bucket, how you could increase your income or reduce your spending or do a mixture of the both of them. So right now, go ahead, get your student booklet out and turn to page 35 in there. Page 35 at the top, that's titled Plug Your Money Leaks. And in a second, I'm going to ask you to pause this video and read about what your money leaks might be. So you're going to read about Michael, and you're going to notice that Michael has a money leak problem. There is some area in his life that he is consistently spending money on that maybe he shouldn't have to, or he could be making better choices. So right now I want you to pause, read page 35, and see if you can't find Michael's money leak. Now that you've finished reading page 35, you've probably been able to identify what Michael's spending leak or what his money leak was. And it's that he gets a parking ticket at school at least once a month. So that's probably a weakness for Michael. It's not a planned expense. It's something that he doesn't really want to be spending money on, and it's something that could be prevented. I have some money leaks as well. One money leak that I've tried to reduce over the years is my love of coffee. So at one point in my life, I was buying Starbucks cups of coffee every day. Now, a cup of coffee at Starbucks is about $5 for a cup. So if I'm doing that every day, that's $35 each week that I was spending on coffee. So $5 a day, $35 a week. That's $140 a month I was spending on coffee. And if I do that every month, that's $1,680 that I was spending on Starbucks coffee. Now, realistically, I wasn't going there every day, but I was getting cups of coffee from some coffee shop just about every single day of the week. That is a lot of money. $1,680 a year is a lot of money to be spending on cups of coffee. So I reduced that leak. I now probably only go to Starbucks or to go to a coffee shop once, maybe once a week or once every other week. So I've really reduced it from once every day to only a few times a month. One spending leak that I'm working on currently is eating out for dinner. So oftentimes I'll come home from work and I'm tired and I don't have any food at my house. So I go out and I spend $10 or $15 on dinner. And I might do this 3 nights in a row. Well, that can get very expensive very quickly. Usually I budget about $45 a week on groceries for dinner. But if I'm eating out $3 or 3 nights a week, that's about $30 right there that I'm spending. So that means that the other 4 nights, really my budget only allows me $15. And that's not exactly realistic to be able to use $15 over the next 4 nights. That's less than $5 a meal. It's doable, but it's not easy. So I'm working on reducing the amount of times that I eat out during the week so that I have more money to spend on other things. So those are 2 of my examples. You might be able to think to yourself about some of your money leaks. If not, that's what we're about to go through right now, are just some ideas and some areas that you might find that you're having trouble keeping your money. So the slide that I have on the screen right now, these are just some common money leaks. The first one is a slow and steady drip. And this is kind of like my Starbucks coffee. So sure, it's only 50 cents or it's only $30, but when you spend $5 every day or maybe $30 a week on something, those little purchases add up fast. Another spending leak is laziness penalties. So these could be late fees on library books or bills. So if you don't turn your library books on time or you're not paying your bill on time, you can be penalized for that, and you can actually have to pay extra money. Same with going to the ATM. If you go to the ATM too many times, they will start charging you every time you use it. Parking tickets, like Michael, those are other types of laziness penalties. Also, buying something that you left at home. So if you forgot something at home and you just say, oh, I'll go buy another one at the store, you're spending money on things that you already have. So basically, if you had planned your money or time better, you wouldn't have to pay for these things. So if we can plan our time better or plan our money better, we're not going to have to pay for these things, and they won't leak out of our cash flow. So another money leak could be needless things like books or magazine subscriptions that you never read. Now that's not saying books and magazines are bad, but it's saying if you're buying books or you're paying for magazines and you're not reading them, those are needless to you. Same like a membership to a gym that you never go to, or clothes that you've never worn. Even like DVDs you haven't unwrapped. Oftentimes I go to Walmart and I go to the $5 bin and I'll just get a whole bunch of DVDs that look cool. But if I'm not actually watching these DVDs, they could be considered needless. I don't necessarily need them. If it's been sitting there unopened, unworn, or unused for 30 days, do you really need it? Or has it become something that's needless to you? I used to buy a whole bunch of hand lotions, and I'd go to Bath and Body Works, and every time I'd go into Bath and Body Works, I'd buy a new scented hand lotion. Well, it got up to one point that I had 14 different hand lotions in my bathroom, and some of them I hadn't used in over a year. Those became needless purchases. Hand lotion, again, it's a good thing to have, but when you have 4 or 5 tubes, or 14 in my case, it's too much. Another way that you might find your money is leaking out of your cash flow is through careless fines, like speeding tickets, or replacing lost sunglasses, or fixing a computer that you spilled water on. You might find that you have fees for going over your credit card limit. And again, these are all preventable expenses, but if you have to pay for them, they will drain your wallet, and they're not going to do anything to improve your life. Another money leak is called a pity purchase. So maybe you were feeling blue, so you went on a little splurge to cheer yourself up. So you went to the mall and you bought some new outfits or some new sneakers, or you went to the store and you bought a huge thing of ice cream and then a bag of chips and a whole bunch of junk food that you didn't need. So those things might cheer you up at the time, but you're definitely not going to feel quite as happy when you see your bank statement or your empty wallet afterwards. So pity purchases are those unplanned things that try and cheer you up, but in the end, they're not necessary. They're not worth it. An impulse buy is another money leak. So usually these won't work or they don't last, and you're going to find it later a lot cheaper. Or maybe you got home and realized that you'd already bought one of these items. These are the purchases that you regret not doing your homework on. So you didn't research them before you purchased them. So I want you to think about your money leaks. Where are some areas that you might struggle that you spend too much money? Not to say that you're spending money on things that aren't necessary. These are places that you're spending money that isn't planned. So activity 1.10, it says my spending leaks, is on page 35 in your guide, in your student guidebook. And there are 4 questions there that I'd like you to answer on a separate sheet of paper. This doesn't have to be an essay, but I would like these in complete sentences. So ask yourself these questions about maybe some of your money leaks. What do you wish that you did with the money instead of purchasing something that was not necessary? Will it take you longer to reach your financial goals now that you have purchased that item? How can you reduce the impact on your situation now? Could you return or sell the item? Could you cancel a membership? What could you do to improve your situation? And what will you do to keep from making the same mistake again? So you've heard about my spending leaks in the area of Starbucks. So now I would like for you to share maybe some of your spending leaks as well. And you know what? If you can't undo what you've done, if you can't undo your spending, don't beat yourself up about it. We all slip up sometimes. The important thing is to stop that leak and try not to make the same mistakes again. That's what's so great about learning it here, is that you can realize that, hey, there might be a little problem over here. I need to make some adjustments so I can fix this spending leak, so that way I can be more successful in the future. So go ahead, pause this, and complete activity 1.10 on another sheet of paper, please. Okay, so who do you think is in control of your cash flow? Do you control your cash flow, or does your cash flow control you? So right now I'm going to introduce to you the 3 R's of cash flow. This is a strategy that can help you take over and take control of your cash flow so that everything is in balance. So the first R for controlling your cash flow is facing reality. So face the reality of the current actual situation. So in real life, things aren't always pretty. Prices for different items are going to go up. People aren't going to keep the same job forever. An illness or an injury might prevent you from working. That could be either temporarily or permanently. Your family size could increase, and that's going to create more expenses. So an emergency fund can help relieve financial stress when these unexpected events occur. So when you create a spending plan using your actual earning amounts, it's better than planning for the job raise that might not happen. When you know that businesses increase their fees over time, such as phone costs and utility bills, it's a reason to leave room in the plan to be able to adjust your non-essential expenses. So you can control your cash flow by understanding that reality happens, life happens, and we need to be prepared for it. You can be prepared by saving, facing reality, and saving for that time when reality might be a little bit messy. The second R is accepting responsibility. Accept responsibility for your own spending and saving actions. As you learn strategies to manage your cash flow, use them to take charge of how you use your money. And that's what these lessons are all about, being able to take responsibility for your own spending. The third R is showing restraint. Show restraint when you're tempted to stray from your values or spending plan. Have a plan and stick to that plan. Try your best to stay within your spending limits. If you said that you were only going to use $50 to spend on video games this week or this month, only spend $50. Don't go over that $50 limit that you've set for yourself. So I want you to also turn to page 36 and 37 in your student booklet. Read those pages, and you're going to read about 7 ways to strike back. So these 7 ways to strike back, these are strategies to help you make your money go further. So pause this video and go ahead and read those 7 ways. So here are just some ideas and strategies that you can use to track your money. An envelope system can help you. So putting a specific amount of money in an envelope for a different category. So let's say each month you want to budget for $120 on groceries. Well, you can put $120 in an envelope, label it groceries, and say this is all the money that I have to spend on groceries. And once that money's gone, well, then you're going to have to get money from either a different envelope to pay for your groceries, or you're just not going to be able to get more groceries. A weekly receipt tally can also help you see if your budget is on track. So keeping all of your receipts and then categorizing them throughout the week to see how much money you have left. A checking account register, that was something that you may have learned how to do in middle school. That can help you track your money, as can a spreadsheet. Just writing down all of your items, and personal finance software or apps. Those can also help you track your money. My personal favorites are the spreadsheet and the envelope system. I think they help me really visually see how much money I have left to spend in different categories for the end of the month. Okay, that's all the time that I have in this video. I'll probably have 1 or 2 more videos to have in this lesson, and then we will be done with this unit. All right, so I'll see you next time.